Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have shocking updates to get to regarding the Clayton Echard paternity scandal that we are watching play out in front of our eyes. The court date isn't until June, but the deposition of Jane Doe is scheduled to take place this Friday, less than 48 hours from now, which makes what I'm about to share with you jaw-dropping. Now, I am trying my best to give you the news without too much, fireworks or glitter here, but I struggle when I wonder if what I'm about to share with you is me overreacting to something, or if it is the smoking gun that truly shows the judge what is going on here. Jane Doe has been accused of extortion. I don't know if that's what the case is. I'm not a legal expert. But because Jane Doe had hired Clayton Echard as her realtor, there's a licensing agreement that he's going to serve her in her own best interest, right? Well, now she's claiming a hefty $1.4 million lawsuit will be filed against Clayton unless he drops the charges, which again, he's just trying to get proof out there that he's not the father of her never born twins, right? So he's just trying to pursue his authentic truth, to exonerate himself, and to show that there's no evidence that he was ever the father. Well, I'm going to share with you, hold on, some wild information. I got to do some housekeeping. If you haven't already, and enjoy the work that we're doing here with our journalistic integrity as a Society of Professional Journalists member, you can join the Patreon. It's free. I will only give the paid members the video content, but there is plenty I'm giving away to the free people out there. If you want to join, that's my way of staying in touch. If anything ever goes on with my YouTube channel or podcast and you want to get in touch with me, that's going to be the way to do it. So you can join for free right there, or also you can join the mailing list for free as well. Okay, we're going to get into it. I'm going to share with you 3 pieces of new information. The email that we've acquired that was sent from Jane Doe last night, 6:39 p.m., February 27th, 2024. That email I'm going to share with you, and what she included in that email, an attachment, which is her intention to sue. And then she shares at the end, well, I don't have to sue if we just drop these charges altogether. Is that extortion? That's the question we're asking. After I share some other evidence of possible manipulation, extortion, possible situations where she holds one thing over somebody to get what she wants. After we share that, multiple examples, I'm going to share with you the response from Clayton Echard's legal team, and it is chock full of new information. Let's get into it right now. Here's the email to the law offices of Greg Woodnick Law. Subject, legal notice. Please forward to Clayton. Again, directly from Jane Doe. At no point here is she including, any of the information. At no point is she including her legal representatives or anything like that, right? So she says this, I'm contacting you directly right through, rather than through Corey, as this is related to a civil matter. I would appreciate it if you would share the attachment with Clayton. So she goes, well, I can share this directly because it's a different matter. Even though in the attachment I'm about to share with you, she actually says, I'll drop this case entirely. So she's willing to drop the $1.4 million lawsuit as long as Clayton dismisses, all of the medical information that's now going to come in here. Wild stuff. You hear about this playing out sometimes in the movies. I mean, I hate to sound so, naive here, but you hear about this playing out and you go, come on, this could never be done in real life. Well, here it is. And again, not the first time. We remember Jane Doe emailed the judge directly. Can't do that. And accused Woodnick Law, specifically Greg Woodnick, of conspiring to rape. She emailed the judge on a previous case. That's right, on a previous case. that she had against a guy, paternity thing, whatever, blah, 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 same. So the judge in that case said, whoa, this is not cool. You can't do this. This has to go through the court system. Well, like we always say, sunlight is the greatest disinfectant, and that's why this information has to be known publicly, because you can't just chat GPT some lawsuit and then say, I'll take it away. So anyway, I'm going to share with you exactly what was sent to Woodnick, and then I guess in attachment or forwarded to Clayton. Clayton, subject, comprehensive legal notice of intent to sue for breaches of contractual and fiduciary duties. Now, hold on. She's going to make some wild claims in here. We're going to show the actual screen grabs in a minute of what she's kind of talking about. So we're going to get into all of that because, yes, there is a lot here. Dear Mr. Eckerd, isn't it funny? She's like, it's like, you don't get to blow a guy and then call him Mr. Eckerd. Dear Mr. Eckerd / the person I alleged was the father of my unborn twins. I write to you with a matter of utmost legal gravity and urgency. More gravity than the baby bump I wore to pretend I was pregnant with you. Okay, we're making jokes, right? Maybe she was wearing a baby bump and maybe she was bloated that day. She had Chipotle, a little extra sodium in the diet. Who knows? Pursuant to the breaches of contractual obligation, fiduciary duties, negligence, fraudulent misrepresentation, and professional misconduct as verified by the Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRE. Your failure to fulfill your professional obligations, specifically in relation to the properties at Redacted Scottsdale, Arizona. By the way, I also will be in Scottsdale, Arizona, March 28th, 2024. If you would like to come to my stand-up comedy show, we will have tickets to that show. They're all available right now. I'll post a link below. I'll be doing a live Q&A with former Bachelor Clayton Eckerd, who you may have heard of before. So if you want to come to that stand-up show and support live stand-up, or just buy a ticket just to support us, you can do either way. I'm not going to stop you if you want to buy a ticket. All right. So always be promoting. Specification of damages. The total compensatory damages sought, $1,368,936.80. Come on, you know what? Round it up to 1.4, why don't you? Is meticulously calculated based on the current market values of the aforementioned properties as of February 27th, 2024, amounting to $1.2 million. This valuation is derived from reputable real estate valuation services, including Redfin, to ensure accuracy and fairness and compensation for the loss of opportunity and financial detriment caused by your actions. What actions? Swallowing? Those weren't his actions. Okay. Additionally, by the way, I think he said there was no pre-cum even, right? So there wasn't even this whole idea. There was no, anyway. I digress. Additionally, $124,448.80 is sought for emotional distress. She's like, well, should I sue him for $124,000? Now, add in that 80 cents. You go get it, girl. Quantified in consideration of the psychological impact and distress directly attributable to your professional negligence in the subsequent ADRE findings. Legal foundation in ADR. Oh, so she's sharing legal foundation. The ADRE's determination that your failure to submit an offer constituted a violation of Article 11. Professional conduct specifically regarding the expeditious performance required by a license holder solidifies the legal basis of my claims. This finding is pivotal, not merely as an administrative admonition. My brain's fried. But as substantive evidence of your failure to uphold the duties owed to me, thereby strengthening my legal stance on the breaches of contractual and fiduciary duties. So what she's saying is, you were signed on to help me out, and when you blocked my number or whatever, that didn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. The precedential value of similar legal disputes, notably Stewart versus Sterling. I wonder if Stewart versus Sterling involved oral sex. Yeah, you never know, maybe. As adjudicated by the Arizona Court of Appeals, serves as a pertinent legal analog illustrating the judiciary's stance on such professional breaches within our jurisdiction. It is imperative to acknowledge that the legal principles espoused in these precedents underscore the seriousness with which the courts regard such breaches and the subsequent liabilities thereof. Stipulated conditions for resolution. Oh, we have a stipulated condition for resolution. You mean Clayton doesn't have to pay the $1.4 million and 80 cents. Well, I will do anything to not pay a $1.4 million and 80 cents payment. What is it that you want me to do? In lieu of immediate litigation, I propose an alternative resolution contingent upon your stipulation to dismiss FC 2023-052114 Jane Doe v. Eckerd forthwith and to mutually agree to forbear from any future legal actions against each other for any claims. This proposition is tendered in a spirit of amicable dispute resolution and to mitigate further legal entanglements. Oh, we wouldn't want a legal entanglement here. Alternative resolution. Doesn't that sound like a band? Coming up next after Fall Out Boy, we've got alternative resolution. Just some guys singing about his dad with, like eyeliner on. All right, well, here's an alternative. I tell you what, Jane Doe, I got an alternative resolution. Why don't we just let the court case play out and let the judge decide whether or not you were ever pregnant? Why don't we let that happen? Why do we have to get all the real estate? $1.4 million? First of all, there's no way she was going to pay the full amount for these homes. So how the hell can she say she lost out on $1.4 million? Okay, not a real estate expert here. Maybe some will chime in. Requirement for immediate compliance. Your response to this legal notice is mandated by no later than February 29th. Is that tomorrow? Oh my gosh, the clock is kidding. How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre. Do. How bizarre. How bizarre. Yeah, you remember that song, How Bizarre? Is by this band called Alternative Resolution. Where are my New Zealand fans at? So anyhow, how bizarre that she just wants a response the night before her deposition. Come on, Jane Doe. Didn't you go to Aldo and already buy some new shoes? Didn't you get a new outfit with the new blouse steamed up and ready to go for your big day in the camera? Come on. Go to Sephora, get some new plumping lipstick. I don't know what you need to do, but come on. Don't let the party end too soon. She says by the close of business, she needs to know, are you going to take this bait or not? Let me tell you something. This is a tall ask by her, considering it's going to look like bullying to the judge, isn't it? I mean, we know this is going to make its way directly into the exhibit. Absent a satisfactory response, I am fully prepared to initiate legal proceedings to seek redress and restitution for the aforementioned breaches. Sincerely, Janeth Doeth DeFord. Okay, so anyhow, it goes on and on and on. Now, I'm going to share with you Woodnick's response. He lays some hefty claims, one of which may be extortion, the practice of obtaining something, especially money, through force or threats. Now, the only way that this isn't extortion is if she's got a case. If she's got a case against Clayton, then maybe it's not extortion. Although you would think, shouldn't they both play out separately? It's almost like this. Why don't we let this case play out? And if you want to sue him for $1.4 million, God knows nobody's stopping you from the legal system. So why don't we just let them both play out? I mean, you can look back to July 31st. Remember those good old days? The summer of 2023. Remember that? She says, Clayton has said he would file legal charges, criminal fraud against me for stating that he is the father of my unborn twins. No, you dum-dum. He was going to file legal charges against you because you sent him 500 messages from alternate accounts when he said to stop it. So she says extortion is a crime under ARS 13-1804. Well, I guess we want to live up to the law of extortion. Now, I don't know if she's committing extortion here. I don't know. But we do know from all of her past messages, she did not want to play ball publicly. He said, all right, you're going to take a test? No stipulations? And she's like, well, I'm going to take a test, but there is a stipulation. He goes, I thought we were going to do public. We got to meet in public. She's like, well, just date me for a week. We don't have to meet in public. And it goes back and forth. So he says, so you will meet up within the court with a mediator present? She goes, that's not how it goes, as if she gets to, lay down the foundation for how these things go. She goes, I've done this before. Trust me, that's not how it goes. I've done this several times with other men. This isn't how it goes. She says, this whole point of the consultation is to not waste the court's time if the issue can be resolved outside of court. Well, I'm glad she doesn't want to waste the court's time. Well, luckily, the judge has decided we're going to waste our fucking time. The judge says we were going to do 45 minutes. Let's make it 2 hours. And maybe with this exhibit, they tack on an extra. Judge is like, you know what? Clear my schedule, peasants. I'm ready to party. Let's make it the whole month. You know what I mean? So anyway, it goes on, and you start to look at things. Is this a standard civil threat, or is this criminal? Threats involving revealing damaging information about someone could turn civil threats criminal. Say you threaten to sue someone for fraud, but offer to not sue if they pay you off. This misuse of potentially damaging information for gain could be improper blackmail. So where's the gain here? The gain is she doesn't have to get deposed, and the truth doesn't have to come out, but wait until I share the response. Please, I urge you, we don't make these videos with edits. We bring them live to you. And as you can tell, I've got this weird issue going on. I've tried to fix it. My computer's literally fried from this case. Dodo Bird has killed my MacBook Pro. Please pray for me out there. Light a candle, a menorah, do whatever the hell you need to do. Please. I'm losing it. Let's continue. So many a times she has put these ultimatums out there. She even did this on one of Clayton's, she threatened, as you can see the attachment below, she threatened to make an Instagram story. Surprise, I can't wait for the arrival of these two next Valentine's Day. By the way, that was 2 weeks ago. They never arrived. They actually took a hard left turn. She says, September or October? Well, we could have used that information when you were suing me for harassment. Wouldn't it have been nice to know you were never pregnant, or at least now claim you had a miscarriage? How convenient, que convenient, when no one could prove it. Odd. So she says, please note the following legal waiver. If after proof of opening is obtained, I choose not to respond to this email, I am confirming that its contents is true. You can't do this. You can't put a legal waiver on an email for the other person. She puts trackers on all of her emails, not just her emails, which we're going to share in a second. Hold on, but wait, there's more. We're going to get into what Woodnick said in a second. But you need to see all these instances. Again, this is an email she sent to Clayton's father. All these instances of control within the legal system, outside the legal system, to family members, to bosses. She wants to punish these men. So she says, hey, guess what? Paragraph 2. I told Clayton last week that I was going to be in California. Que convenient. For the weekend, and that if I was going to get abortion bills, it would actually be easier to do it in California because it's less traumatic, because there isn't a law that there is in Arizona that the mother has to view the ultrasound. Don't have to view the ultrasound in California? Que convenient. So here are some messages she actually had sent to Greg Gillespie, the other guy. Again, showing control, showing torment, showing bullying. She posted these messages in her private, limited Instagram. She knew he was watching. She posted links, probably have tracking on them so she can see that he was clicking on them. Single mom confession. People think my child was a mistake. He wasn't. His father was. And again, she probably was only sending them to him. I'm sure no one else was seeing this. I'd rather be a single mom than show my children it's okay to stay in a toxic situation. Jane Doe, let me tell you something, okay? My mom was a single mom. She left a toxic situation. Don't fucking come to me about a toxic situation. You have lived the life of privilege, never working as far as I can tell, real job in your life. Never, you know what I mean? Like you live off your parents' dime, and you're talking about a toxic situation. The fuck out of here, Jane Doe, with that shit. The fuck out of here with that shit. She says, pathological narcissists get away with their abuse because those who haven't experienced it cannot wrap their heads around the possibility such cruelty exists. Because the truth sounds insane. That's because it is. Believe survivors. I choose to, although their names in this case are Clayton Echard. Their names are Michael Maricini. Their names are Greg Gillespie. Their names are Andrew. Their names are Matt. Their names are Sean. And also the other victims that don't want to come forward. How about those that live in building whatever in San Francisco that you lived in? Those are the victims, I believe. So when you want to share this shit, you better understand what projection is. So, of course, the carousel of legal representatives she had. Lexi Linval, by the way, great name. Love a good alliteration here. Lexi Linval, of course, dodged the deposition. Said, our client's not ready to go until the judge rules on the quash. Well, guess what? The judge ruled on the quash. right? So then the judge rules on the quash saying, no, we're going to do the deposition, which again is set for Friday, March 1st. Put it in your calendar. So of course she's like, well, what can we do? Blah, blah, blah. And again, the response to Lexi is, glad you got involved in the case and happy that Jane Doe found another attorney. There's been a parade of counsel with the collateral and malignant litigation here. But guess what? The parade of counsel keeps turning because Lexi, of course, left and now Corey Keith is stuck footing the bill. So these are the attempts that she sent trying to bully me into quit talking about this. Please relay this to Dave as my final offer for Mr. Neal to drop the injunction. Again, she sent 4 more final offers after this. Final offer, I'll drop the harassment charge, which again had no merit whatsoever, as long as Dave stops making videos. Well, she dropped the case because she had none. She just did what she could do to try to bully me. And yes, that is bullying. It's relentless torture. My response to my lawyer, November 30th. The weekend that I'm with my family after Thanksgiving. Oh, and again, the weekend that she said the blood would be on my hands if she hurt herself.
The blood is on your hands, Dave Neal.
The same line she used in her Medium article, which led to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, shout out Hannah Clark, in Virginia, sending wellness checks to Scottsdale, Arizona, because she's so adamant in not losing her point of view, the privilege that she has, that she's throwing temper tantrums, just pretending that she's going to hurt herself if the truth comes out. You hurt enough people. No one's asking you to hurt yourself. And certainly no one needs to receive those threats. My response, oh man, when I read her emails and I'm not mentally prepared. It's torture. Now, of course, not making light to people that have actually dealt with physical torture, things like that. But it's emotionally wrecking to read her emails. I don't know if this is her last desperate attempt to quiet me or what. What scares me, even if I win the injunction against harassment, will she just continue to try and drain me? Well, luckily, I never fucked her. Luckily, I've never met her. And luckily, I'm not her real estate agent. I'm just a journalist who also is a comedian who's exposing the bullshit, exposing the ways in which she is weaponizing the law, weaponizing any sort of contract she can to get back at these men for the big crime of not wanting to love her. So then she also posted this. You posted this on here. You did this about me. Your legal fees. Clearly the sole purpose of this group is to bully and harass me. My hope would be that you would just simply agree to move on from continuing to cover this for good. That's all she's wanted, is people like me to not exist. That's why she's emailing different podcasts saying, if you agree with Dave, I'm going to sue you for defamation. She doesn't want people talking and sharing the truth. The only people she's not involving legally is people like Law Talk with Mike and Megan Fox, those that actually know the law system. So it goes on and on and on. I actually had a clip I was going to share. Go check it out. We're running late on time. Megan Fox here and her lovely assistant IT, Goatee, sharing just how crazy this story is. Again, they're great information. Of course, we've enjoyed the fact that we've got more expert knowledge coming in and exposing this. So anyway, we get into the text messages. So when she talks about suing him for whatever contractual breach, we start to see these moments where she starts to share this all the way back on May 26th. The pre-cum on her dress isn't even dry yet. You know what I mean? And she's already sharing, that's a new one. And she's already sharing, well, the lender said that you didn't submit my offer, this and that. She kind of goes back and forth. As a courtesy, I just sent you what I am going to send to your boss, Austin, if I don't hear from you by 6, because I need to figure out how to proceed from here. Again, at this point, she's not talking about being knocked up. She's talking about the fact that she's trying to buy properties, and she can't buy these properties if her real estate agent, Clayton, is not responding. You may want to check your email. Well, I was told about Saturday, blah, blah, the properties. I don't even know what to say, honestly. I feel like this whole week has been a nonstop panic attack. You're so damn talented. Again, this is what she wrote to Clayton, a guy who just got into real estate. You're so damn talented and smart with real estate, so it crushes me to see that you self-sabotaged here when you could have done 1.124 million in deals in a week. I've had everything ready to go, and you dropped the ball. I still can't understand how she thinks the fact that these deals didn't go through, that she's entitled to $1.4 million. I have no idea. Obviously, she doesn't want the $1.4 million. She just wants Clayton to drop the case. So she goes on and on. I made these offers based on your input, and now I don't even know what to do. I think I will pull out. Well, that's what you guys did in the first place. If I am going to be repped by the seller's agent. So this is when Clayton basically said, I'm trying to I'm trying to get you to a different agent. He responds, I would file a police report for harassment and would get a protective order. These messages alone would be enough to enact one. There has not been a response to either offer, so in 2 hours they will be inactive. But again, I have text trying to transfer you over to my brokerage and you declined. So you have no case against me for the AAR. I did my due diligence. All right, so this is Clayton kind of playing hot potato, trying to get her to, a new, and again, I'm not trying to litigate this case, this real estate case. I don't know if she has a real case against him. I truthfully don't. My guess is no, she doesn't. But knowing that she's using this case as a means to drop the other case, you just can't do that. You can't say, imagine I punch somebody and they're going to sue me. But then I find out that, I don't know, there's a bench warrant out against them. I can't be like, I'm gonna call the cops on that warrant. You can't do that. It's not, again, maybe that's a shitty analogy here, but I'm on the fly. You can't weaponize one versus the other. And extortion's not always about like a monetary gain. The gain here would be that this all goes away. I noticed that justiceforclayton.com is gone. I don't know why. That was just thrown in there. Okay, good. We made it to the end. Let's get to it. Here's the part I'm going to share with you. Woodnick Law responds. Again, she says, I want $1.4 million. I'm going to have a $1.4 million lawsuit. That's what she says. I want a $1.4 million lawsuit against Clayton. And the only alternative judgment, whatever it's called, alternative, the hell did I call that before? Hold on, I have to know. Alternative resolution. The only alternative resolution is if Clayton drops the case. Here's Woodnick's response. Again, we'll be talking about this at noon Central Time as our core story of the day on Patreon at patreon.com/Dave Neal. This is what I'm talking about when I say this case isn't going away. It's actually getting more bizarre. And by the way, all the threats she made, like, Dave's trying to capitalize on me with a documentary. I'm not the one pitching the documentary. The documentary exists because there's public interest in how you're able to manipulate all these different powerful men and different laws to your benefit. Well, it's up. The time's up. Here's what Woodnick Law said in response. Corey, again, Jane's lawyer, your client emailed me directly tonight below. I am sure you did not approve or even know about this as it is so woefully inappropriate. Of course, I did not respond. And my question is this grounds for Corey to just drop his client? Number 2, this will be an exhibit at trial. You can also expect my client may release this to the media as exposing Jane's overt and nonsensical extortion. Does the world good, and nothing contained in her notice is private information. So we are accusing her, I say we, Clayton's side, of overt and nonsensical extortion. Number 3, I have more witnesses stepping forward regarding your client's pattern of faking pregnancies and using this disturbing narrative to somehow extort relationships. Number 4, I trust you already saw that, and this is where it gets interesting, folks. This is where we have breaking news, breaking information. Don't read ahead. We'll get to it in due time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking information we're getting right now on the spot, brought to you now here on Dave Neal's Bachelor Nation News, Power Journalism. Number 4, I trust you already saw that 3 providers your client claimed were providing services have indicated they have no medical records for her in the system. Oh my gosh, are you... what is going on? What is going on? I look forward to seeing you both on Friday, Greg. Adios míos. What is this? But she said, is she lying to us? Well, she said those were her doctors. And they proved the pregnancy. And now you mean to tell me on February 28th, 2 days before the deposition set for March 1st, 2024, a month after she claimed she's no longer pregnant, which 2 months prior she found out that she wasn't pregnant, but that she wasn't pregnant for 2 months before that. Are you meaning to tell me that this isn't real? Who am I supposed to believe now? Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to see how this all plays out. but it's making the June court date oh so interesting. I know, I understand. You might sue me because you bruised your jaw because it hit the floor. I understand. I should have let you know, put a soft pillow underneath your jaw so that you didn't damage any teeth while watching this video. But there's where we stand. If you're inspired at all, I will be pitching fastballs down the middle on today's podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour. Go check it out there. Or, of course, scan this QR code if you would like to join our Patreon. I'll be live right after this.